Hi guys. So the next thing I wanted to do was a series on fractions. I know this is very basic, but a lot of people struggle with fractions. So it's good to get our basics very strong before we move on to more complicated topics. So let's see how we do fractions. Especially in fractions, I first want to cover addition. In the subsequent parts, I'll do subtraction, multiplication, and division, all separate parts, so that we devote complete attention towards just one topic. So today we'll see how we do addition. In addition, we have two things to cover. One, what if we have the same denominator? And secondly, what if we have different denominators? So the first one with same denominators, it's really simple. So let's just take a look at one example. So let's do 7 by 2 plus 13 by 2. I hope you guys know what numerators and denominators are. If not, let's just take a quick look at it. So suppose you have a divided by b, or a by b as some people say. In this case, a is the numerator and b is the denominator. Okay, so in this case, as we can see, let me choose another color. 2 is the common denominator. So what we can, if you have common denominator, what you can do is write down the denominator and just add the numerators. So in this case, 7 plus 13. You don't have to do any other procedure. So just write down the denominator and just add the two numerators like this. So 7 plus 13 is 20 divided by 2. If you simplify this, you get 10 divided by 1, which is just 10. So if you have common denominators, doesn't matter how many fractions you have. Right now I've shown just for 2. If you had 3 or 4 or 5 or how many ever, the procedure is the same. First, just write down the denominator and then add the numerators and write it in the numerator position. In this case, we were able to simplify the fraction here because 20 was divisible by 2. So we got 10. In some cases, you might end up with prime numbers as fractions, in which case you won't be able to simplify. So that's if you have a same denominator. Now let's look at what happens when we have different denominators. So let's just take an example, this time of 3 fractions to illustrate this concept. 3 by 5 plus 2 by 3 plus 5 by 6. So the first thing we want to do is find the LCM of denominators. Denominators and not the numerators. So denominators. Let's do upside down division. If you guys want to check out a more detailed explanation on LCM and HCF, I would strongly recommend you go through my videos on HCF and LCM on my channel. So I'll just show a small and quick example here. So we have 5, 3, 6. Since we have we have an even number, we can start with 2, which is the smallest prime number. 5, 3, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now let's go to 3. 5, we write it as 5, 1 and 1, and then 5, which is 1, 1, 1. The LCM is nothing but 2 times 3 times 5, which is equal to 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, so what do we do with this LCM? Let's put a large separator or a dash, and let's put 30 here. So the way we would do this is, now let's take the first fraction, 3 by 5. So we have 3 by 5. What do we do with this? Let me show this in white. So take 5 now, divide the LCM of the denominators, which was 30, divided by the denominator of the fraction you're considering, which is 5. You get 30 by 5 is 6. Now take this 6 and multiply by the numerator here, which is 3, gives us 18. 18 plus, let's do the same for 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 would mean we now divide 30 by 3. 30 by 3 is 10. 10 times 2, because 2 is the numerator of the fraction we are considering, it's 20, plus, same with 5 by 6. So 30 divided by 6 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, so what is the sum of these three numbers here, which form the numerator? 18 plus 20 plus 25 gives us 63 divided by 30. Again, we can simplify this. If you divide it by 3, you get 10 here and 21 here, correct? Yes. So it's 21 divided by 10. That's the final answer. And lastly, I wanted to show you another one. What if you have multiples of the same denominator? Or, okay, let me just explain what I mean. So let's take another example. Say 9 by 14 plus 4 by 7 plus 11 by 28. Here we can see that the denominators, if you consider 14, 7, and 28, seem to have seem to be multiples, right? So 7 times 2 gives us 14, and 14 times 2 gives us 28. So if that's the case, if you can spot this right away, you can use an easier method. Although LCM here works just as fine, it's not wrong to use it, but it may be a little time consuming for some people. So what we do here is try to get a common denominator, right? Or try to make all the fractions have the same denominator. So if you want to make 9 by 14 have a denominator of 28, what do? You just need to multiply this, the denominator, by 2. But since you're multiplying the denominator by 2, you also have to multiply the numerator by 2. So because in the end they cancel out and you're left with your original fraction, right? So 9 times 2 is 18 and 14 times 2 is 28. Same thing, let's do for 4 by 7. So we want to get 28 as the denominator because 28 is the largest number of the three. So what we do is we multiply the denominator of 4 by 7, which is 7, by 4 to get 28. But since you're multiplying the denominator by 4, multiply the numerator also by 4, which will give us 16 by 28. We can leave 11 by 28 as it is because we have 28 as the denominator there. So now our problem really becomes 18 by 28 plus 16 by 28 plus 11 by 28. So this basically becomes like the first problem that we saw, or the first example, wherein we had common denominators, right? So 28 is the common denominator here. So write 28 as the denominator and simply add the numerators. 18 plus 16 plus 11. 18 plus 16 gives us 34. 34 plus 11 gives us 45. 45 by 28. That's it. So the answer is 45 by 28. This is by using a method of making the denominators the same. If you want, you could do LCM here, which in this case is 28, and follow the procedures as shown in the second problem to get the final answer as 45 by 28. I think this works much better. It's much faster also. So this is how you would do addition of fractions. Let me know what you guys think. If you have some questions for me, or if you have some suggestions on what you would like to see in the future videos, please let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe to this channel for more tutorials, and if you like this, please give it a thumbs up and also share it with all your friends. Thank you so much.